Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. I'm so glad to have you with me today as we study Psalm 144. And today we're going to look at verses 4, 5, and 6. Now, these three verses come after the first three verses, of course. And in the third verse, we ask the question, what is man that you take knowledge of him? Which comes over to us, of course, from Psalm 8. Psalm 8 asks that very question. Here we have it repeated again. So it's important that we understand the answer. And today he's going to give us the answer and a little bit extra. So let's find out what he has to say here. And remember, this 144th Psalm, this is the final conflict. That's what I'm calling it. Because after verse 11, throughout the rest of the Psalter, from 144:12 to 150, you have nothing else mentioned about the conflict of the church, the conflict with sin. Nothing else is mentioned about the sorrows in this life. It is all praise and glorification of our God and Father. So next week, we're going to put on our choir robes and we're going to sing the songs of Zion beginning next week and going all the way through Psalm 150. So I hope you'll join me as we conclude the Psalter. I mean, we're coming to the end now of the Psalms. So I hope you join me as we do that. Okay, let me read today verses 4, 5, and 6 here in Psalm 144. Man is like unto vanity. His days are as a shadow that passes away. Bow the heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Cast forth lightning, and scatter them. Shoot out thine arrows, and destroy them. Right, that's verses 4, 5, and 6 here in Psalm 144. And you'll notice that we have the answer to the question that was asked in verse 3. What is man? Well, here's what man is. He says it here in verse 4. Man is like to vanity. His days are like a shadow. They pass away. So this is man. He's temporary. His days are vanity. He is vanity. And vain, it just means empty. So man's just an empty creature. Nothing to him. There's no stuff there. You know, there's nothing there to him. There's no there. That's the phrase I was looking for. There's no there. Man is vanity. He's empty. And his days are like a shadow. And you've seen a shadow come and a shadow go. Shadows shorten and they lengthen. And that's about it. That's how long man has. He's just a shadow. He's here for a moment. But then notice 5 and 6. 5 and 6 tell us who the Lord is. And who is he? Well, let's see. It says there, bow the heavens, O Lord, and come down. Now, who can do that? What man can do that? No man can do that. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Only God, when he touched down on Sinai, made it smoke. No one else can make it smoke. Cast forth lightning and scatter them. Who can do that? Only God can do that. Shoot out thine arrows and destroy them. Who's being destroyed here? Well, of course, for David in this psalm, it's the enemy, right? The man who's vain in this life, who is, he's going to pray here a prayer just in a minute, that God would deliver him. So he's building up to that. So he's saying, here are the men. This is the general nature of men in general. They're vain. They're like a shadow that passes away. Here is God. He's not. He's able to bow the heavens. He's able to come down, touch the mountains, make them smoke, cast forth his lightning, shoot out his arrows, and he destroys vain man for his transgressions. And, of course, David here in this psalm is going to say, do that to my enemies. So we have this beautiful contrast created between the vanity of man and the grandeur of God. His greatness is described here. Now, before I forget, I've already said yesterday that we have portions here from Psalm 118, or Psalm 18, rather. Psalm 18 is David's it's his greatest work. It's his magnum opus. It's the thing that he is to be remembered for. And throughout the Psalms, we have smatterings of Psalm 18, especially the Psalms that David wrote. Well, here we have verses 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, And then today, 4, 5, and 6 all come from Psalm 18. And Psalm 18 is based on the poetry found in 2 Samuel chapter 22. In 2 Samuel chapter 22, we have Psalm 18 almost in a complete form. And then, of course, that's the foundation for it being in the Psalter. And now here it comes again to us in Psalm 144, that the Lord is the one who bows the heavens and comes down. He's the one that scatters his lightning. He is magnificent. Men, they're vain, they're empty, and they don't last, but God does. All right, friends, join me again tomorrow. We're going to look at verses 7, 8, and 9 here on Daily Dose Radio.